Hello RC fans, Racing393. I'm just doing this video to get the monkey off my back. I don't think I've got a monkey, it feels like it. You won't believe the problems I've had. I haven't even run this car yet. So this video is about the speed run, organised by Poor Boys RC. And I'm looking forward to taking part. I've done an intro video, introduced myself, and I'm currently getting the car ready to do a preliminary run, to be honest. Well, that was the plan. Well, that is the plan. That is now the plan. It wasn't last night from recording this, so it doesn't really matter when you're seeing this, but it was for me yesterday. I've had so much hassle. I bought a speed controller, Easy Run Max 10. I use these quite often in my cars, and a brushless system because I'm entering the brushless class. Pretty much plug and play. There's not much that goes wrong. The motor, speaker, you know how it is. Easy, easy, easy. In fact, it's probably one of the easiest setup procedures for a speed controller. It's a little bit more involved if you plug your box in and adjust the parameters. Gets a little bit, I wouldn't say complicated, but you need to know what you're doing. But I wasn't planning on doing that. Plug and play. And scouring the internet. This is another day now, but yesterday I was out in my shed. I don't know what I did that for, because it is a shed. Until nearly 11 o'clock at night. But bear in mind, it's a school night, isn't it? I've got to go work, like today. But I was still out there, 11 o'clock. And that was after starting at like, I don't know, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, just piddling around, doing some stuff at home, in and out the shed. Nice relaxed Sunday, nice weather, dog, mum was round, lovely. It was just a nice little relaxing day. Ended up freaking pulling my hair out. I went on the internet, this is in between all this, scouring the internet, putting things in Google, putting things in forums about, the problem I had was it just wouldn't set. I couldn't set the throttle and brake parameter on the speed controller. Reading the instructions and the forum, there was correlation between the two, i.e. making sure all the endpoints, is it endpoints or the what do you call that, when it's all neutral, so the throttle's in its neutral position, so it's not one way or t'other. I just couldn't do it. I did get it set once and I was using it around my patio, but I then put the box in my wisdom, put the LED box in, the LCD box in, adjust all the adjustments within the speed controller. I don't know why I did that, but I thought I'd give it a go. And it didn't work. I must have done something that it didn't work. Anyway, cut a really long story a little bit shorter. I got to the point where the throttle was all the wrong way around. Quite an easy fix, so you think. Reverse the servo in the hand controller. Generally speaking, from what I can gather and what other people have said, the easy runs tend to run in reverse. That was the sort of the pattern. I think mine was in normal at that point. Not sure I did have it in reverse. I can't remember, but I changed it, and when I did that, it had a little clicking noise on the car, but it had forward, but no reverse or brake. So that put me to the box, the programmable box again, and changing things. Then it didn't work again. It kept coming on. The red lights are flashing. Anyway, this was getting on my tits. I mean, it was like 11 o'clock, and I don't usually take problems to bed with me. As in, oh, it's only a toy car. For God's sake, I've got bigger things to get on with. Life, work, money, bills. It's a toy car, but it was bugging me. I thought, because I don't get problems like this. It just doesn't happen until now. Anyway, long story, almost to the end, I promise. It transpires that everything I've read is freaking wrong. You lot on the forums, you haven't got a freaking clue. What are you talking about? It really pisses me off. The problem, and it might be common knowledge to everyone else, apart from me, transpires It's my radio system that I use in my sort of random cars, not my race car, is shit. FlySky GTS 3 or something. It's quite an early one. Cheap, cheerful. It worked. In fact, all my cars I'm looking in this room here, that most of these have got FlySky. Most of them. But it is a cheap, shitty radio, because I did try racing with it. Long story short, it doesn't work. It almost feels like you're not in any control whatsoever. It's like, well, I'm doing things, but nothing's happening to the car. Anyway, for going around an airfield and going up and down in a straight line, it shouldn't make any difference. What transpires, it's not so much keeping everything in its neutral position. I don't know what's that called. It's not called the end points. What's it called? Trim. The trim, I obviously had that neutralised on the throttle. N 0 0 0 0. But it transpires that there's, for the crapness of it, to find the neutral, you leave the trigger in the middle, push the set button on the speed controller, it should beep, but it wasn't. And you had to sort of squeeze the trigger a little bit on the trim, just enough to get it to beep. Because what I was doing is going, well, it's doing the forward, but it won't do anything else. Of course, it thinks that is neutral, and it's not, but I didn't know that. So it transpires that you've got to, on that controller, squeeze the trigger a little bit, like that. It registers neutral. You then obviously let it go, because it's registered it. You then squeeze the trigger, throttle, push the set button, it double beeps. Doot, doot. So that's the second one done. I never got this far yesterday. Let it go. This is where the problem relies. This is where the problem starts. The rest of the problem. You go in reverse, push the set button, nothing. Just wouldn't set reverse. You then reset the speed controller, like turn it off, turn it back on again, and it hasn't finished its parameters. So it did work forwards, but there was no brake, no reverse. To end this story, you had to put the trim on that crappy controller in full reverse. And then you put the set. So you set the trim to full reverse with the trigger, push the button, it sets it. And then it was going like that. So then you trim it back until it stops. That's the shitness that I've been dealing with. Anyway, we're ready. We're not ready. Well, I'm not ready right now. But the car's more ready. I can sleep. I can go to work now, knowing that I fixed it. But none of that was on the forums. So I'm going to put this out there, that this is one of the ways to fix crapness on your electronics, apart from going to buy, really expensive equipment. Or, I tend to use Sanwa. As I moan on other videos, they're costing £80 for a receiver rather than 25p for a FlySky one. I know they're a bit more than that, but they're not much more than that. So, yeah, if you've got shit electronics, be prepared to have problems of immense proportions. But if you know, you know. If you don't, you do now. And I have saved you hours of problems. But there you go. I wasn't aware of that. It was nothing on the instructions about that. It kept saying keep everything neutral and in the middle, which is what I did. The forums were spread out with keep it in the neutral position, do this, do that. But in fact, you don't do that. Well, you probably can do that, but anyway, my problem was my problem, maybe. Anyway, that's it. Let's move on to the next stage. I'll carry on doing what I'm doing to get a running video of my preliminary first run in this car. Thanks for watching. Trials and tribulations. We love competitions like this. It's not the competition's fault. It's me, and I've sorted it. I'll see you later.